In 2012, one of the busiest clinics in Europe, Clínica EUGIN in Barcelona, made the decision to install RI Witness. Based over 3 sites and carrying out 8,000 cycles annually, it was important for them to choose a flexible system that could be tailored to their own needs and processes.
Quality was important for us from the beginning. So we aimed of having high quality standards, and therefore also we were the first in Europe of having total quality management. Having the witness actually goes in the same direction of aiming this high quality standard. It gives us this, but it gives also a high satisfaction among our personnel, nurses, biologists and so on.
We had already our system of control the patients on double witnessing, but we thought that implementing an extra layer will improve our way of working. So that's the reason why. And the good thing of RI Witness is that it's totally integrated in their work areas. So the user don't need to do anything else but what he was used to do. So it's very easy for them to learn how to use. So you only work, and then if you work right, you will know it, and if you work wrong, you will know it.
RI Witness fits easily with existing systems and protocols and involves patients in their treatment. It has a proven safety track record.
One thing that was a concern in the beginning, which was the safety of the chips, after looking on the previous published data and after looking the results of 15,000 cycles, I can say that is no risk on that, and we don't see any drop on the results after using the RI Witness system.
EUGIN decided to allocate ID cards to both partners. RI Witness can print patient ID cards and labels for plasticware. Donors can also be allocated an ID card, and their ID is then associated with the correct couple in the system. When RI Witness was installed, EUGIN decided to continue to use their clinic database system to print ID cards. RI's IT team worked with them to make sure both systems were able to talk to each other. Giving both partners an ID card makes them both feel secure and involved, giving patients greater peace of mind. It gives them extra reassurance that additional measures are being taken to identify and secure their precious samples. RI Witness helps to reconfirm their identity at each step of the cycle, again involving the patients and giving them extra confidence. From the very start of the cycle, RI Witness tracks all of the patient's samples. The man's sample, or the lady's sample, or the donor's sample. So that will be one less thing to occupy their minds. At EUGIN, the card reader is linked to this specific work area. Using dishes prepared the night before with unassigned RFID tags and patient labels, all the embryologist has to do is press one single button to confirm the procedure and automatically assign the ID of the patient. Multiple dishes can be assigned at the same time. Here in the andrology safety cabinet, several samples from a patient can be worked on at the same time. If there are multiple tubes in the work area, each tube can be assigned with the man's ID in one go. Because there are concerns that in a busy lab, staff are under pressure when carrying out repeated tasks, RI Witness provides extra reassurance that samples are matched correctly. EUGIN carries out human double witnessing prior to insemination and at other crucial points, but has the reassurance of backup security from RI Witness. Since EUGIN has had RI Witness in the lab, it has made a really big difference to their staff morale. They are much happier and more relaxed. The good thing about RI Witness is that embryologists know they are working with the correct sample. It allows them to focus on carrying out the procedure in the best possible way. Unlike systems that require additional steps to be added into the protocols, which can easily be forgotten or overlooked, RI Witness monitors samples constantly and automatically. If the wrong samples are put in the work area, the system alerts the user. The system is now locked, and until the incorrect sample is removed from the work area, the embryologist cannot proceed. A reason for any mismatch must be typed into RI Witness and is logged in the patient's records. It might be that a used empty dish or sperm tube has been left in the work area by mistake. The important thing is that the alarm sounds immediately before they had a chance to proceed with an incorrect action. RI Witness Lab Manager can see and review all of the potential errors and use them to action areas of improvements to standard operating procedures and provide the necessary staff training. On installation of RI Witness, the first task is to shape the system according to the lab's existing protocols. This is very straightforward and allows the system to intelligently recognize the next step in any protocol. For example, if there is a couple's sperm tube and egg dish in the work area, depending on the protocols, it would give the option to carry out an ICSI prep or IVF insemination. The system can also prompt and record any fertilization check or media change that takes place at a work area, logging the details in the patient's records. At EUGIN, for those patients whose samples are not placed in a time-lapse incubator, the embryo's development can be recorded using RI Witness. Photos can be taken and saved in the patient's file. EUGIN's IT team has worked closely with RI to integrate their database with the RI Witness software. Any cycle details that used to be written down on paper can now be captured on the work area screen using the RI Witness and transferred automatically to the database. This integration of systems has been so important to clinics. It has dramatically reduced the need for paper in the lab and the transcription of records. Data captured through RI Witness can be used for statistical analysis, for quality control, to populate patients' files, or to generate a report that can be given to patients, illustrating their embryo's development.
I think that is very interesting is that we are able also to introduce the results of the patients while we are working on them. So it's a data collection which is very useful in a big volume of data that we are introducing every day to do it in a very fast way.
When embryos need to be cryopreserved, the Brady barcode labels are printed from the system and attached to a vitrification straw, allowing the samples to be associated with the unique patient ID. Patient involvement continues at the embryo transfer point. At transfer, the patient gains the extra reassurance of seeing and having the identity of the embryo being confirmed. IVF is such a big step. Knowing your clinic is doing the very best they can about quality control is so important for a patient when choosing a clinic.
Results are important, but patient's experience is really fundamental during the treatment. So having Witness gives patients the possibility of taking actively part of the control of their cycle, and so they have one thing less to think about.
RI Witness has become an integral part of daily life, and once installed, EUGIN and other clinics around the world using the system agree that they could not do without it.